This is a close-up of that garden that I showed you the other day. And, well, one, it's not very well populated with plants. There's lots of empty gaps in there. And the plants they've got growing here, frankly, don't look edible. They look like weeds to me. And then you've got that section back there. We're going to try to go around and take a look at that. That they've got potted trees like they're waiting to plant them, but there's too many of them to be like the perimeter, like they've got here. Well, maybe not. But what's it for? This isn't somebody's farm. This is just a piece of city property that they've put this on. Couldn't they have put something useful in, like a, I don't know, a McDonald's or something?
Ice cream place.
Or an ice cream place. See? I would say you could put 100 people here and you could get 100 different things that would be more useful than wasting this space for this. It occurs to me that there's quite a few frou-frou restaurants right down here. So that could be one of those, ooh, we grow our own kale or crap to put in your food and poison you, or whatever it is they do with it. I can't, it says it's private property. No signs indicating what it was or why it's here. It's just what used to be an empty lot somebody has turned into a field just waiting to be plowed under for something useful. So I just watched over the footage that you just saw, where Michelle and I were at the garden, or whatever it is, and I realized that you didn't really have any context for that little rant, perhaps. So let me just do a couple things. One, Michelle and I went for a bike ride. The weather is beginning to get better, and that was nice. We didn't go very far today because it was the first day. And we had just gone to Whataburger, which is a hamburger chain, and they have bike racks, which is one of the reasons, and it's kind of a nice spot for just a nice short ride from the house. Just, you know, to get back into it. And we just had the most horrible experience, and perhaps we should have known, because it seems remarkably busy for a Sunday morning. You know, a couple people would be fine, but there's probably six to eight people in there, and I didn't realize they weren't eating. So we ordered our food, and just for the sake of honors, I had a hamburger with bacon and cheese, no tomato, very important, and Michelle had 6 chicken nuggets because she wasn't very hungry. All right, that was our order. And, you know, we sat there for a while, and realized after a bit that people were a little disgruntled, and then I heard somebody say, well, you know, is our food coming? And then I started to look, and I looked at our ticket, and I realized we'd been sitting there for 15 minutes, which is ridiculously long. And they seemed to be staffed. They had one person working drive-through, one person working the front, 2 people in the back cooking. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, but food was coming out incredibly slow. And then they started, you know, you could hear them talking about the fact that they're going to start losing people at the drive-through. They've been sitting out there 10 minutes. It's like, what's the malfunction here? And you know, time kept going, and they would come out, and they had no clue who had what food. They give you little numbers to put on the table so that they can match the food to the... They were coming out to the tables and asking to see our receipts so that they could figure out what food we'd ordered. So 25 minutes in, our food finally arrived. Now, mine was wrong. It had tomato. Michelle was wrong. It was the wrong number of chicken nuggets, although in her case she got 12, not 6. The fries had probably been cooked 25 minutes ago. They were terrible. But, you know, the crowd had kept getting bigger, and the crowd was getting ugly. And and they were, one time one of the people came out and she would be like, did anyone order just biscuits and gravy? Did anyone order just biscuits and gravy? And there was this one obnoxious guy. So he was, you know, he hadn't been anywhere near as long as Michelle and I. And he's sitting there with his daughter, and he's like, and a hamburger. And she goes, no, just a biscuits and a hamburger. No, I'm looking for someone who just ordered and a hamburger. He's shouting at her. And they couldn't find anyone with the biscuits and gravy, so that was thrown out. And that guy then demanded his money back, and then like, well, let me see your receipt. I said, you never gave me a receipt. And they gave him money back, and then there were other people starting to get their money back, and then there was at one point the woman, I think the shift leader, came out to everyone who was still left, and she's like, I'm really sorry that we're working just as hard as we can, but we're having difficulty. And then she just absolutely collapsed in tears and had to run out of the room. It was a sideshow. It was an absolute sideshow. And of course, it would have been tasteless of me to be videoing that, so I didn't. But it was different. This was a different experience. So I wasn't in a great mood when we left the Whataburger, and then we went up to investigate that I don't know what it is, garden farm. What you don't know is across the street from there. That's Central Avenue in Phoenix. So on one side there's a park. And that park had some adjacent land to it that was kind of part of, it was originally an old Indian school, which is a sad, pathetic thing that perhaps we'll talk about someday. But it was traded out to the city for a park, and then some of the land was set aside for commercial development. But for some reason, that commercial development never happened, and so the city somehow ended up with that extra land, and that land they decided to turn into a friendship garden. So it is a garden where local residents can go in and help do this garden-y thing. And I'm not opposed to that. I mean, it's kind of silly. They could have just made the park bigger, which I would have liked, but okay. The Green Acres thing, people want to go do whatever. Fine. But now this new stuff is on the opposite side of Central, which as far as I know was private land, but for some reason it always lain empty, which is surprising on Central Avenue. And now they've put in these rows of weeds. Well, they're probably, I have no idea what it is, some sort of leafy vegetable. And there's some other things in there as well. There's no signs. It's not part of the friendship garden. It's not part of anything as far as I can tell. I'm guessing somebody's fine. It offends my sense of order to the universe, frankly. And that's really what it is. And it was just in the right mood at the right time. Anyway, I just wanted to give comments on that. It's a 3-day weekend, and we have failed at the parental vacation thing because last night James was at a sleepover with a friend from school, and tonight Michelle is at a sleepover. So at no point in time have we been without children. If we could have just arranged them both to be at the same time, then we could have had the night off. But we didn't manage that. We picked up James today, having had no sleep and quite sunburned. He's going to be in pain tomorrow, I'm afraid. All the aloe and lidocaine we've got, and he's going to be in pain. I don't know if there'll be another one this weekend or not, but remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will talk to you next time.